Welcome back. It's time for business, and I'm joined by William Edwards. Hello again, William. We're starting off in the US, where the government is still trying to get compensation for the behaviour of banks in the run-up to the financial crisis.
That's right, and their target is JP Morgan. Now, they bought Bear Stearns Bank, you might remember, at the height of the financial crisis, and it's actually actions that they took that are being targeted. The JP Morgan, though, are the ones getting sued by the government. Basically, it's over mortgage-backed securities, you might remember that term. Those are financial packages which were sold to clients as investment vehicles. They were a key part of the subprime mortgage crisis. Now, the Attorney General of New York has said that Bear Stearns, when it was selling these financial packages, committed multiple fraudulent and deceptive acts in promoting and selling them. So that may be the case, or it may not. We'll see in court, obviously. But JP Morgan, the company now responsible, feels a little bit hard done by because, of course, when they bought Bear Stearns, they were put under incredible pressure by the federal government. They only had a weekend to make up their mind because, of course, it was thought that if Bear Stearns went bust as well, then the whole financial system might come crashing down. So JP Morgan had to take on their problems due to the federal government, and now the government is kicking them for it, as it were. It is also seen as political because elections are coming up, of course, and this is maybe Barack Obama's administration looking to get on side with those who are against Wall Street just before those elections.
Now, back here in Europe, things aren't looking any better for Greece.
They're certainly not. In fact, they've just unveiled their draft budget for 2013. Even more cuts are on the way, and the country is bracing itself for a seventh successive year of recession.
Shouting Troika out, angry protesters greet inspectors from the International Monetary Fund, European Commission and European Central Bank. The international creditors returned to Athens on Monday for crucial talks with the Greek government. They discussed a revised proposal of austerity measures needed to unlock a 31.5 billion euro installment from a 130 billion euro second bailout. The Troika is reportedly worried Greece won't be able to deliver part of the deal.
The international lenders have asked for more details. Consultations are continuing.
The Troika's visit comes as Greece unveiled a draconian draft budget on Monday. The government pulled no punches, announcing it will slash spending on pensions, salaries and healthcare. Savings worth 7.8 billion euros this year, that's part of an 11.5 billion euro package of savings agreed with international creditors spread out over the next 2 years. The draft budget forecasts that the economy will shrink by 3.8% in 2013, on top of a 6.5% contraction this year. It will be Greece's sixth straight year of recession, meaning economic output will have declined by a quarter since 2008. The draft budget must now be passed by the Greek government.
And what about Spain? What's the latest on the reports of Spain asking for a bailout?
Well, the Reuters news agency is quoting high-level EU sources apparently saying that Spain could ask for a bailout as soon as this coming weekend. EU Finance Commissioner Olli Rehn was in Madrid on Monday in talks with Mariano Rajoy, the Prime Minister. He obviously didn't state that a bailout was imminent, but he did say that if the EU was required to give one out, then it is fully ready to do so.
And how are the markets taking all of this?
Not very well, actually, in Europe. Let's just see how things are opening up at the moment, and things are looking pretty negative over that uncertainty on Spain, and there were, of course, relatively strong gains on Monday, so losing a bit of that gain. Meanwhile, in Asia, things have been broadly positive, actually, throughout most of the session, but you can see that things just heading downwards on the Japanese Nikkei. Still staying ahead in Australia, where the Australian Central Bank has cut interest rates for the third time in 6 months.
Meanwhile, there's been a turnaround among the biggest tech stocks.
Yep, Google has finally overtaken Microsoft in its market capitalization, how much it's worth on the market. It also edged past Walmart, making it the third biggest company in the US after Apple and ExxonMobil. Microsoft, of course, still doing rather well for itself, still has big profits with Windows and Office, but with mobile becoming the thing, Google just edged ahead of them on Monday. You can see, though, Apple still way out in the lead there at $618 billion.
No contest there. Now, that change in value seems to have been reflected in a new list of top global brands.
Yeah, this is according to Interbrand. They work it out based on things like market value and also surveys of how much it means to consumers. The brand of a company. They reckon that Google has in fact surpassed Microsoft now. Google's in 4th place this year, according to them, in the most valuable brands in the world. Microsoft has swapped places with it, down in 5th. Coca-Cola still at number 1.
All right, now with Paris Fashion Week on at the moment, the big fashion houses are looking to China to boost their bottom lines. While business has become more challenging in Europe, French labels are trying to develop their operations in Asia.
With the debt crisis raging in Europe, many French firms are looking to expand their business in China. The fashion industry is no exception. Asia is among our priorities. It's a crucial market for fashion. According to the Boston Consulting Group, China's fashion market is expected to triple over the next decade. It's forecast to hit 160 billion euros in 2020. But it doesn't mean selling luxury goods to Chinese customers is always easy. Chinese shoppers are seen to have become more sophisticated. Today, they're not just looking for the big brands, they want something unique.
They like something personality, the same simple style, but with the accessory or details very special. So I think some brand like Caravan, they are a big match in China.
A trend that may give a chance to smaller French labels in China, but also push bigger firms to be more adventurous and creative.
And finally, IKEA is in trouble for a rather glaring omission in one of its catalogues.
Yeah, let's have a look at what happened in their Saudi Arabia version of their catalogue. The rather glaring omission being women. In fact, they've been taken out of the photos. Sometimes the exact same photo you see here, mum having brushing teeth, and then she's gone in the next shot. And there you see the woman in the middle, and there she's gone in the Saudi Arabia version.
Wow.
Basically,
what's the reason for that then?
Well, because of course in Saudi Arabia, of course, women aren't allowed to even travel or study without male permission, and famously, they're not allowed behind the wheel of a car. This is seen as a sort of way towards cultural sensitivity, but it seems to have rather backfired because, of course, to Western eyes, it looks very discriminatory. And in fact, IKEA has rather backtracked on this, saying that the exclusion of women doesn't align with their values and that they'll be looking into this and how it happened.
Good. All right. Thank you very much, William, for taking us through the business news. Thank you for watching. Stuart Norval will bring you the last half hour live from Paris in just a few minutes' time. Don't go away.